Hi everybody. I am going to do another blog post by way of this video. I figured I got enough things going on right now. I don't have time to write another blog post, but I really ought to get people filled in with what's going on. This is going to be one run through and it's done. And that'll save me a lot of time. And so let's get started. It is today, July 25th, 2024. That makes me exactly 78 years old. My birthday is today. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Okay. The big news in our world, in our little household out here in Oregon, is that I have a relapse of my lymphoma. This is my second relapse, which is, as you may imagine, with any kind of cancer, having one relapse is not a good sign, and having a second relapse is even worse. So, here I am just crying in my beer and everything. But let me tell you what's going on and how this has all happened. As you probably know, I had my first relapse of lymphoma approximately 10 years, 9 years after the first event. And that first event, in fact, is really what prompted me to start doing a blog in the first place. So, yeah, good communication tool is that lymphoma, Anyway, so that was a year ago, my first relapse, and I was treated for that. I had chemotherapy, I had radiation therapy, and by September of last year, I was officially in remission. Had PET scans and they couldn't find any indications of cancerous cells in my body. And since then, I have been on a quarterly schedule to get another PET scan just to make sure they aren't seeing any more cancerous cells in my body. I won't get into the specifics of how PET scans work, but they're pretty neat. If you want a lesson in modern physics, go find out how they work. Okay, so on the 1st of June, actually I think it was the 6th or 7th of June, I had a PET scan. Maybe it was a little bit earlier, maybe it was as much as a week earlier, and I had a PET scan, routine. Because I had an upcoming appointment with Dr. Yee, my oncologist, and he wanted to have the PET scan before he saw me so he could, give me the good news or the bad news or whatever. And the PET scan showed a bright spot on my left thigh. And it's upper thigh on the front side, right about where my thigh joins my torso. And it was suspiciously close to a set of lymph nodes that everybody has almost in that area. It was far enough away from those that it was the radiologist, he kind of said lymph node parentheses question mark. Anyway, so Dr. Yee said, well, let's get you in here and let me take a look at that. And so we had our meeting, and he said, yeah, there is a lump there. You know, I actually, when I saw the report before I saw Dr. Yi, and I said, huh. And I felt around in my thigh, and I could feel the knot. There was a knot down in there that wasn't supposed to be there. And he could feel it. Dr. Yi could feel it when I went to his office. And he says, before we get all excited about this, let's go have a biopsy done. And a biopsy there, we can do two things. One, we can do a needle biopsy, and that may or may not tell us something, or we can just have them cut the whole lump out and look at the whole thing, and that will definitely tell us. And I said, let's cut it out and check. So I had a surgical procedure to chop this thing out, and it turned out to be lymphoma. And the pathology report on it read almost identically to the pathology report that I received on the lymphoma biopsy that was done a year ago on my leg. And so that's when I knew that I was kind of in trouble. Anyway, so I had another appointment with Dr. Yi, and he said, okay, look, I am an oncologist. I am not trained to do anything beyond what I have done, and the care at this point is very specialized, and I am not equipped to do that. And so I have to refer you to a center for where this can be done. And because of my insurance, I couldn't be referred to where he would like to have somebody look at me, because that would have been out of network. And what in the hell was that? I didn't do that. So he referred me to the other place, which is Providence Hospital, St. Vincent's Hospital. They have a team that does this advanced stuff, and the advanced stuff is called CAR T-cell therapy. It's very new. It's just one step out of the research phase, but it is FDA approved. And if I didn't do that, then the only other choice I would have would be the therapy that this has replaced in the last year or two, which wasn't terribly effective. And if I didn't want to do that, then it was, well, we can make you comfortable till you die. I said, well, I still got some things to live for, so let's do it. So I am now scheduled to begin CAR T-cell therapy. And I'm going to stop this video right here and do another video showing you what CAR therapy is all about, hopefully. And then I'll come right back. Now, how do you turn this dang thing off? Ah, there it is. Okay, I'm going to try to explain what is autologous CAR T-cell therapy. And I'm using this illustration. I've forgotten where I got it from, but I got it off the internet, so it's got to be, pretty close to being right? Anyway, it looks pretty good to me. Let's start with the terminology. Autologous means something from your own body. That means that the T cells that are in the therapy are T cells from your own body. CAR is an acronym for chimeric antigen receptor. And chimeric is an adjective meaning something like a chimera or a chimera, depending on how you care to pronounce it. That is an animal, a mythical animal from ancient Greek mythology that is half lion and half goat. And scientifically, the term is used to describe something that is derived from two different types of living organisms. And what that means is that the T cells that are used in the therapy process have been modified by use of some genes that are found in a virus. So the T cells that come from your own body are modified by the addition of a gene from a virus, and this gene will help and enable your own T cells then to attack cancer when they could not before. Antigen receptor, I'll get to that in a minute, but so basically what this is saying is this is a therapy that uses T cells from your own body that have been modified to attack cancer cells. Now in this diagram, here's me. Actually, I think I'm a little bit bigger across here now than the drawing. Anyway, the first step of the process, which I will have in approximately 1 week, July 30th, they are going to put me in a chair in a restful position, and they're going to extract blood from my body and pipe it into a machine, and the machine will separate out some T cells from the blood. Or I may as well say, what is a T cell? A T cell is one kind of a lymphocyte, and a lymphocyte is one type of a white blood cell. The lymphocytes are what is responsible for the immune response of your body, so that when you have an invasion of viruses or bacteria or toxins or whatever, the lymphocytes go out and find that stuff and get rid of it, or kill it or whatever. Anyway, so here's my blood going into the machine, and what's coming out is one stream is the T cells that are filtered out, and the other stream is all the rest of my blood, and that goes back into my body. This process takes about 6 hours of pumping blood through this machine, so I'll be sitting there for a while. The object is to collect T cells from my own body. Now they are then shipped off to a lab somewhere, and the lab does some genetic engineering using these viruses that I talked about to inject a particular gene into the T cells that have been extracted. And that particular gene causes these T cells to grow these little branches on the exterior, and these are shaped in such a way that they can latch onto certain cancer cells. I have a cancer of the B cells of my lymphocytes, and lymphocytes with B cells that are cancerous have a protein on the surface called CD19, and these little doohickeys are shaped in such a way that they will grab a hold of the CD19 protein on the surface of those cancerous B cells. So when they have modified the T cells, they then set them aside to grow and multiply. And when they have multiplied enough to form an injectable dose, they then put them all into a test tube and send them back here, and they're ready to be injected into my body. And so these T cells will go into my body by way of an injection. Those T cells will immediately go to work latching onto the surface of these cancer cells, and then they can then direct some other things to come in and dissolve or break up the cancer cell. Bev and I learned yesterday that what really happens is the T cell releases some magic formula stuff that goes in and breaks up the cancer cells. So anyway, that's the theory. And these things, once they attack a cancer cell, they can go, and the cancer cell is destroyed. Then they break loose from the fragments and they go find another one, and they stay in your body for a long time, perhaps even months. Some people have even said years. So anyway, in theory, these things should eventually find every cancer cell and destroy it. And it's a new kind of therapy. It's only been approved for uses like it will be applied to me for a couple of years, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to use it. Now, how effective is it? That's another question. First of all, because it is so new, there's not much in the way of statistics. But the statistics that have been published and seem to be circulating around among the centers like where I am getting it done is that it could extend my life from anywhere from 2 years to a long time. On the other hand, it might not. And a lot of people don't benefit from this treatment, or do benefit but relapse anyway. So, and the percentage there is maybe 50-50 that end up dying of lymphoma, even though they've had this treatment. So I happen to believe that if I didn't have this treatment, I would die of lymphoma, period. No question. Unless I had a car wreck or something right quick. So that is the autologous CAR T-cell therapy. And that's what I am due to begin with step number 1 next week, July 30th. Now, how long does this step 2 take? About 4 weeks. So that means that somewhere around the 1st of September, I will be having this stuff injected back into my body. And after this stuff goes back into my body, that is when the potential side effects can happen. It's not like chemotherapy in that I have to sit around for a week of infusions every 2 or 3 weeks. It's just that one injection, and then they kind of keep a close eye on you and make sure you don't croak from the treatment. But they've got the science of this down and the mechanics of this down pretty well, so that they're actually giving this therapy as an outpatient rather than inpatient. It used to be that they would give you that injection of T cells and then you'd be in the hospital for a week to a month while they were watching you 24/7. Now they have trained Bev of what to look for and what to do when if she sees these things. And we are within a short drive of the hospital where this is being done, and so she can get me to the hospital and the doctors can battle the side effects. So that's, and how long before I get to be feeling really chipper again? Well, it might be a month or 2 months after the injection takes place, if it works. So that's what the therapy process is all about. Okay, I think I'm going now again, and I hope that I haven't muddied the water any more than is necessary. So bottom line here is that next week, July 30th, I start the first phase of this therapy, where they will extract T cells to be sent off and genetically modified and grown and multiplied, and then they will send it back here, and that I will have these GMOs injected into my body. Before I have those injected in, about a week before, I will have some relatively mild chemotherapy to make my body more receptive to those modified T cells. They will keep me there for an hour or two after that, and then they'll send me home. And after that, Bev is my caregiver, and she or her delegated substitute is supposed to be within easy observation distance of me 24/7 for up to a month. That doesn't mean that somebody has to be in the same room with me, but somebody checking up on me every now and then, making sure I'm acting somewhat coherently and not throwing up or whatever. And so, geez, I don't know what to say except that I'm excited to be taking part in this type of therapy. I'm not in a research project by any means. This is standard therapy at this point. But the procedure is new enough that I am happy to be contributing my experience as yet one more data point in the statistics, so that a year from now people will have a much better idea of what might or might not happen during or after this therapy. And that's where we are. That's the situation. You might say, well, other than that, how you doing? And basically, I feel okay. I don't have any of the symptoms of lymphoma that I had 10 or 11 years ago yet, and I don't feel bad. My energy is down a little bit, and that may or may not be due to the lymphoma. It's more likely due to the fact that I'm 78 years old. What else? I have been whittling a little bit, and I'm working on something right now. Let's see. There you can see what I got. This is just a noisemaker, another rattle, and it's still pretty rough. I've got more work to do on it. But the story of this is that I started this many months ago and then kind of put it aside, and then I picked it up again after it became known that I had a bright spot on the PET scan centered on my upper thigh, and I needed something to occupy my hands. So I started whittling again, and the funny thing is that I'm not as adept at this kind of thing as I used to be, number one, and number two, I wasn't wearing the best protective gear on my left hand that I should have been. What I was wearing was more comfortable. All right. Well, I'm not throwing you the bird here, but I just about chopped the end of my finger off by accident. Boy, so I've got a nice little scar. It goes right around my finger. Like if the bone hadn't been there, the end of my finger would have been gone. So as I finish this up, I am using a heavy-duty glove, and I have to say that I probably would not have slipped up and endangered my finger in the first place if I hadn't been letting my mind wander a little bit. So okay, I'm whittling a little bit. This I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna finish this up and give it to Dr. Yee, and Dr. Yee is gonna go, what? Bev and I met with the team, or the the head of the team that will do the actual procedures involved for the therapy that I will be receiving. He was a very nice guy. He's a nurse, but it's a he, and he seems quite intelligent, and he seems also the type of person that likes to listen as well as talk. So, and he's very good with explanations. And he is the director of the team, so he's got some rank. He's got some rank. Anything else going on here? Bev is celebrating her birthday too. That was yesterday. I got a dinner scheduled with some friends, one of which had a birthday day before yesterday, so this is our birthday season dinner that we're having tonight. And anything else, I don't know. The weather, it's been hot out here, but it's been hot everywhere, so I can't complain. Right now it's quite nice out there. So if you've got any questions or ask, or if you want me to elaborate on anything, I've still got the comments at the bottom of this post, and you can ask me questions and I will try to answer them for everybody, or if they're private, if I have your email address, I might drop you an email. And with that, I'm gonna wrap this thing up and put it together so that I can post it as a blog post on Honketyhanks Cave. I'll see you there.